go to the beach.
Yeah,
Let's just go hang out for a couple of hours or so.
Right.
I mean, we live here.
And I do say we do go for lunch at a beach club that has a good view.
Yes.
And
Right. It's not that we don't see the ocean.
No,
Yeah.
we do. But
laying on the beach and seeing the ocean are two different things.
two very different things, yes.
But then when we go to, it's a priority because it's dog friendly.
Exactly.
And our
That's
dogs
true.
like to go there, so.
Well, your dog only hears the name of the beach, and
We cannot say the word jungle fish in front of our dog,
so we
or he
use
will freak
JF.
out.
we use JF.
Right. And he's starting to clue in on that, too.
Yeah.
Welcome to Expats Like Us, a co-production with Me Vida Margarita, exploring the world of U.S. expat life in Mexico. In each episode, we'll meet new people and hear their stories. We'll also learn more about expat life and get a few tips on everything from making your move to settling in to living your dreams. And most of all, having fun. Let's dive in. Today on Expats Like Us, it's part 2 of Padre, Malo. We had so much fun on the last podcast doing this little game that we've been playing, we decided to do it again this week. As you may remember from episode 4, Padre means father in Spanish, but it can also mean cool. When we pair it with Padre means how cool. On the flip side, Malo means how awful. It turns out lots of changes that we experience in our expat lives we think are great, Padre, and some are not so great, Malo. So let's do another round. Let's start with a topic from Sherry.
Well, I guess one of my Padres is the weather here. It is gorgeous. Pretty much every morning you walk out, we have about 340 days of sun per year. And even on the rainy days, it usually clears up by the afternoon. So there's not much chance that you can't have a great day outside. And it's just so lush. It's a very full jungle where we live, so it's lush and green, and there's something blooming all the time. So I'm always amazed walking how beautiful it is here, and it just kind of raises your spirit. The only Malo that I can think along with that is that I've had to add a dermatologist visit once a year to my list of what I need to do. Because you are in a lot of sun, so even if you're wearing sunscreen or sun protective shirts, it's very smart to get your skin checked just to make sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember a friend of ours on Facebook saw a picture of us and commented that we had permatans. Permanent tans.
Yeah.
And that's true. We do have permanent tans.
Yeah.
It's funny because Chris, he tans so easy. And when we went back to the States, our friends were like, oh my goodness, you look more Mexican than Erica.
I was going to say, I'll see often on social media sites on Facebook and that people are like, oh, we're coming down for a week, but it shows it's raining all week.
Yeah.
Maybe it rains a half hour, 20 minutes during that week, per day, and it clears right up. So it's great. But on the other side of that, also with the Malo, hurricanes. We are in a hurricane area, but I was doing a little research today, said only 2 major hurricanes have hit Quintana Roo in, I guess, all of history, or as long as they were keeping track of it on the internet.
Okay. And we had a small hurricane when we all first arrived, a month or a month and a half.
It was our welcome hurricane.
It was our welcome hurricane. I remember at the time thinking, what have we got ourselves into?
That's exactly what I said.
We just got our stuff put away, and now we're going to have to batten down the hatches for a hurricane.
Yes, that's exactly what we thought.
But it really wasn't all that bad. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fine. We lost sleep. I didn't sleep. I could hear noises, winds, no power. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. It was fine. It wasn't that bad.
As far as I could tell, I don't think anyone got injured or certainly not killed.
Of course,
or we'd have heard of that.
Category 1, so it was fairly mild on the scale.
But it's like, it's almost to me, because I remember sitting up that night and looking out the window. We have jungle right behind our bedroom window. And it's like all the trees would whip one way and then they'd whip the other way. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my, these trees are pretty resilient around here for hurricanes, right?
Yes.
But it is the weather also. It's super hot in the summer. It's certain times that
Yes,
you can't
yeah.
even walk. You come out of the shower, you walk outside,
Yeah.
and you're sweating immediately.
Yeah, the humidity, and
Yeah.
I think that takes a while to get adjusted to.
It does.
But even being here, after 2 years, last summer, I felt, hi, it is really humid.
With the humidity also comes the mosquito bites.
Yeah.
And that's huge for me because they love me. And so you have to keep in mind like the bug repellents, all of that in general. I don't like using the off. It makes my skin itch.
Oh.
So it's like you got to take into consideration little things like that. But then again, it's worth it.
Yeah, yeah.
And we don't use as much moisturizer because back in the States, I was always feeling like my skin was dry and using moisturizer every time I washed my face. I would slather it on, and you feel pretty good skin here.
Yeah.
Here,
for
it's
sure.
amazing. I use no moisturizer.
I know the couple of times that we've gone back to the States, my skin goes dry instantly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And my nasal pad, it's everything
It's
is
crusty,
just all of a sudden
everything
it's
is,
just dry.
Yes. Yeah. So when we went back in December, that's what I got every day was he's like, my nose, it was just horrible for him. It was cold. It was freezing, first of all.
Right.
And it was just so dry. And our skin was just flaking,
Yep. And it's itchy. And,
Itchy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Ashy.
ashy.
How did we ever live that way?
what were we thinking?
So good weather. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Erica,
Okay.
what do you got?
Mine's the lifestyle. So moving here, you have a fast-paced lifestyle. You work, raising kids, you have to still maintain a home, busy, 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 busy. You come to Mexico, so the Que Padre is the lifestyle. The Que Malo is everything's very slow-paced.
Yeah.
When they say a Mexican minute, they mean a Mexican minute. When we got our solar panels, we'll be there Tuesday. And I'd ask Chris, did you ask what Tuesday of what month of what year?
Right.
Because
Right.
everything was just slowly slow. When they would say, we're going to be there to fix whatever we need fixed or paint. Okay, what day?
Right.
Is it of this month? Is it this week? This month?
It's the concept we like to say of mañana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mañana does, you learn that mañana means tomorrow. Not
Not
if you're
necessarily.
talking to somebody scheduling something.
Exactly.
In the future.
No. It means not today.
Exactly. But again, on the Que Padre part of it, it helps remind you life shouldn't be lived so fast forward mode because it's not healthy.
Right.
So I feel
Yep.
that that's also, it kind of goes both ways. But I truly love we did one thing today. And
Yep,
the
yep.
one thing, we're good.
Yep.
And we don't have to worry about anything else until
Right.
tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if then. We could go another day
mañana.
with just that one thing, right? Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times I think when someone says, oh, mañana, or they'll do something tomorrow, it's not that they're not working that day or that they don't want to help you, but they tell you what you want here, and they also maybe told someone else tomorrow too, and so they're trying to do everything for everybody and keep everybody happy. But
Yes.
Right.
I
It's,
agree.
it's part of the friendliness and helpfulness of the local people here. is
Yes.
They don't want to tell you something you don't want to hear.
yeah.
Exactly.
I found that it kind of rubbed off on me because when we first got here, I was used to the States and you're go, go, go. So I would have 20 things I wanted to get done tomorrow.
Yep.
And now I'm like, I got one thing I want to do, and I'm like, meh, maybe I'll do that.
If it
If I don't
doesn't
do it
happen,
today,
it'll
yeah.
happen mañana.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay.
Yep.
Chris, you got a new one?
Food. I don't think
Okay.
we've covered food. Food in Mexico. Everyone loves Mexican food. Here, some great food. A lot of fresh seafood coming right out of the ocean there. We've got some local favorites in the Pueblo we go down to.
Yeah.
Luis and Marisol's. They've got
Yeah.
the best tacos
Best
I've ever
food
eaten.
around and
Oh, yeah.
the best prices around
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Pasta, they make homemade
Yeah.
pasta. I mean, it's amazing, and the prices are incredible. We can usually get dinner for under $5, and you're totally stuffed.
Right. Right.
So
And it's amazingly fresh, and it's right there. That it's on the street. It's on the street
Yeah.
in front of a guy's house, but
Right. maybe that's a Malo for some people,
Yeah.
but I don't. It doesn't
Not
bother me.
me.
At all.
I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, me too.
Is go to
try
that
all
place and
the
just
local
eat the local
places, yeah.
food.
Go get the marquesitas down the street. Yeah.
Because you can't cook for that
No.
money
You can't.
at home.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, but
I don't.
So on the Malo part, I'm going to add to that is the food. You get fresh food here. So when you get fresh food, you have to use it. It's not
Right.
It'll go bad at first unless you freeze it. If you get it and you think you're gonna, I forgot the chicken. I thawed it out or I left it in the fridge. We're gonna cook it tomorrow. Then again, you get busy and we'll go out to dinner. When you want to cook that chicken, it's already gone bad if you don't freeze it.
Right.
So that's the Malo part with the food as well. If you're cooking at home, you need to use it. But then I also understand now, like the locals, they go to their little markets in the Pueblo. Every day they will pick up the meat they're eating, the veggies, the fruits, everything that they're going to need for that day. They do it daily. Where we're used to in the States of let's do our weekly grocery shopping.
right.
Which is not really healthy with all the preservatives
Right.
in it. So
Right.
that's
So yeah, I suppose that's a function of there's not all the preservatives are in the food. You know, we've noticed bananas are good for about 2 days.
yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Suddenly you got black bananas sitting
But
there.
the K Padre, she makes great banana bread. So.
Oh yeah, so
There you go.
awesome.
I've learned that the last 2 times.
Have you ever noticed that what the chicken breasts are like here compared to in the States? They're
Do you know how much
they're so much smaller here.
They are.
Yes.
And I think it's because in the States, the chickens are pumped full of hormones and growth hormone and all this stuff to make them genetically huge like
Right.
that. And in Mexico, the chickens are more like they probably were in the 1950s or 60s in the United States, where they don't get all that. They're not all on corporate farms. They're not being fed all that stuff. So the chicken breasts are much smaller, but they're healthier.
Yeah.
You're not getting all that stuff in your body
Yeah,
either.
pumped in
you know?
there.
So I have noticed when we've gone grocery shopping, we've gone into the Pueblo to buy meat. And then we've also gone to Chedraui or Walmart. And Walmart's chicken breasts are 3 times larger. The ones at Chedraui are smaller, but you go into the Pueblo, you get normal chicken breasts. Normal.
Right.
But those are the ones that you need to buy that day and make that day.
Right. So yeah, that's a
Definitely food.
yep.
Well, one of the things I heard from a neighbor that's a little newer to the area was that she missed the prepackaged convenience foods that she could buy to like throw together a quick meal. And there are workarounds here. So you can also buy a cooked chicken in the Pueblo, which usually comes
yeah.
with rice and
Beans
cilantro and
tortillas.
tortillas, yeah. So if you want something quick like that, you could buy a chicken, shred it, and use it to make whatever your dishes that you wanted to have prepackaged chicken strips for. It's possible. There's
Yeah.
workarounds.
But I also realized as well, I used to do a lot of that in the States, the pre-packaged, because we were busy working. I don't have an excuse now. I can bake everything. I can make everything from scratch, which is easier. And that was where I was speaking about the lifestyle, the fast paced. It was constant go, go, go. And now I don't have an excuse. I can make the time to do this and prepare stuff.
Right.
So it goes both ways.
It's like living in a simpler time.
For sure. Yeah, I always tell her, to me, I never obviously didn't live in the 40s, but what I imagine 1940 America, that's what Mexico reminds me. Everyone minds their business. Nobody's
I think that too.
showboating. Nobody's, we went back and everyone's got a big truck and loud stereos,
Yeah.
and they're like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And here everyone just keeps their head down, does their own thing, concentrates on.
Yeah. Everything is not bathed in regulations like they have in
No.
the States either. I mean, we kind of joke about it sometime. There's no OSHA in Mexico.
No.
Because you see the most crazy things.
Oh, yeah.
People working on highline poles with a wooden ladder.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
like 30 feet that's made out of sticks,
And a
Yes.
chair on top of
And
it.
a
They're
chair
just
on
standing
top of it.
driving a scooter with a ladder.
Yeah. They transported the ladder on a scooter. 2 guys on a scooter.
Sometimes two guys.
a dog, the wife.
a baby.
Or, in the States, when's the last time you saw somebody that had kids in the back of a pickup?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here, it's almost like that's what they buy a pickup for.
Right.
Is to carry people in.
That's true.
And you see trucks of, workers getting transported to a job site or something.
They're
where
all
they're
standing.
They're crammed on the back of a truck
Yep,
like sardines,
packed in. Yes, we've seen that, and it's usually every morning if you're out early.
Yeah. And you would never see that in the States anymore. But that's part of, that's something that maybe you would have seen that in the States decades ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Another one for Que Padre.
Okay.
We live so close to Caribbean Sea, but the Que Malo is we don't visit it as
Right.
much or go to it as much. You had mentioned before you visit when you have friends. That's our thing when we have friends visit. It's our vacation from our daily routine, and that's when we go to the beach. But it's very rare that we go.
We're kind of that way too. We go, maybe once every couple months or something like that. Other than when our friends are here, we go 3 days in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. We brought inflatable paddle boards down here, and we've gone once in almost 3 years, which is horrible.
And, I would say when we first got here, we discovered beach clubs that we like, and we went quite a bit more. And there are people that I know, some friends of ours go all the time.
They do.
That's their thing, is going and sitting on the beach and, watching the waves and all that. But yeah, it's not something that you just do forever,
Yeah. Well, I don't even think we really even started doing it.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
why.
when friends visit is when we go, but to say, let's just go to the beach today.
Well, and part of that is the beaches here. It's hard to find beach access that doesn't cost you money.
Right.
There are gorgeous beach clubs all the way up and down Riviera Maya, but there's a minimum that you have to spend there. The food, from our experience, is glorious in these places, but it can be quite expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they charge gringo prices there too.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
$50 a person or whatever for a day, and that's
Yeah.
not something that expats like us
Yeah.
like to spend.
No.
Yes.
Well, and I think it's just part of whether you're visiting somewhere on vacation or whether it's your home, because I grew up in the Black Hills of South Dakota that everybody came to on vacation in the summer, but we never visited those sites unless we had family in from out of town. So, we never went to Mount Rushmore or driving up through the national parks unless we had family. So you just kind of take it for granted.
Well, but now I think about it, we're originally from Utah, and it's one of the biggest places for skiing and snowboarding, and we really didn't do much of it.
Well, the reason I didn't, I had a job that if I got hurt, I wasn't able to do my job, and I would have to get an
Right.
alternative assignment, which was not fun, and
Right.
just wasn't worth the risk for me, especially
Right.
as you get older.
I just didn't do it. I'm
I did it
accident
when I was
prone.
young.
Well, then maybe that we just need to make a point. Use the beach more.
Yeah.
I think we need to.
Don't take it for granted.
From here on out, we're going to the beach at least once every 2 weeks.
Well, folks, that ends the
Yes.
podcast today.
We're off to the beach.
No, I think, but then also again, it's like if you make plans to go out, hang out, have dinner, we should be able to do, let's go to the beach.
Yeah, that's
Let's
true.
just go hang out for a couple of hours or so.
Right.
I mean, we live here.
And I do say we do go for lunch at a beach club that has a good view.
Yes.
And
Right. It's not that we don't see the ocean.
No,
Yeah.
we do, but
laying on the beach and seeing the ocean are two different.
Yeah.
things.
two very different
Yeah.
things. Yes.
But then when we go to, it's a priority because it's dog friendly.
Exactly.
And our
That's
dogs
true.
like to go there, so.
Well, your dog only hears the name of the beach, and
We cannot say the word jungle fish in front of our dog,
so we
or he
use
will freak
JF.
out.
we use JF.
And he's starting to clue in on that too.
But that is another Cape Padre, is this area is so dog friendly.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, you can
Yep.
bring your dog
everywhere.
anywhere you want.
Yep.
Like we were
Everywhere.
in the States, like Erica was saying, back in December, and most of the places we could get away with bringing our dog, but some place we got told at one place, yeah, you can't have the dog here.
And it's
Here-
rare to have a dog in a restaurant in
Yeah.
the States, unless
Yeah.
it's an outdoor restaurant, which around here most are,
Yes.
Or a service dog, and
or a service dog.
our
yeah.
dogs
They-
don't fit quite that well.
Yeah.
Well, they don't recognize service dogs here in Mexico.
Right.
We
Okay.
learned that. So
That's okay. Dexter could never pass himself off as a service dog anyway. He causes more problems than he solves.
Poor Dex.
So what else do we have for Cape Padre, Cape Malo, Sherry?
Well, one of my Cape Padres was the use of apps to do a lot of our work here or interactions here, and they're free. So we have WhatsApp, which we use for everything from making a reservation for a restaurant to contacting a service provider, a doctor. We have WhatsApp groups for different groups of friends or even our community, and it's a great way to share information. So if you're wondering about the process for getting a driver's license, someone will ask in one of those groups, and right away a couple people will come back. You need to do this, this, and this. Here's a pin to get there. So very good way to share information. And then Google Translate's the other one. So we use them all the time. Just when I'm looking for something in the store, if I want to make sure it's exactly the spice I'm looking for, or how to use the product, I can just whip out my phone and translate it on the spot. Super handy. Super handy.
Right. Google Translate, for those that don't know, has a camera function, and you point your camera at, like in our case, stuff that's on the grocery aisle that's all in Spanish, and it will
Sign.
translate it, or signs or whatever. But it will translate that into English.
Yeah.
Which is,
It's
and I
amazing.
see so many people in the store standing there, going
Yes.
down the aisle looking at stuff with Google
with
Translate.
the camera, yes.
Yeah. Imagine what life would have been like moving here without Google Translate for us that don't know Spanish.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we would have carried around a phrase book.
Right. And we'd only be able to say these 200 short phrases.
Yeah.
But even for me, my parents are originally from Mexico. I can see the difference of when they left Mexico to the States. It would have been the same thing, the contacting of the family. They would call once a month because back
Right.
in the day it was long distance calls. So you didn't have that luxury. But for me, I've even struggled being fluent in Spanish. I sometimes struggle with it.
Right.
I know basic Spanish. I know how to do things, but I don't know anything about cars getting fixed. Like I don't know. And then having been from more central Mexico to here, the Spanish changes.
Right.
And so the Mayan Spanish for me is a little bit more different than the Spanish I learned.
Yeah. And there's different words for different things.
Yes.
Like there's probably 3 different words for tires.
Yes.
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 So it
I
could be-
learned that when we got a flat tire.
there you go.
I actually cried because I'm like, what's a tire here? Like, what's it called?
So what's the answer?
It was the same. It was llanta, but the slang words I can't remember off the top of my head were different ones. But it was the same. It was llanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But our security guard had come up because he heard it and he chased after us and he said something. I'm like, no, it's llanta. Then he said something else. I'm like, man, I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. So I learned that.
I have found, when we talk about how nice people are here, there's a lot of people, if they see you struggling with Spanish or something, they will just stop what they're doing and help you.
Yes.
I've had that happen at the DMV, getting my license. I've had that happen if somebody's saying something and I'm giving the old, gringo stare of nod and pretend I know what they're saying when I really don't, someone will recognize that and come over and say, well, here's what she's asking you to do this.
Yeah. That happened to us once in the airport too. So they were questioning how long we had been here, and I was able to explain that we were residentes permanentes. But then she wanted us to go, I don't know, over to a kiosk, and Bob started to do it, but he was like taking the suitcase with us, and someone intervened and like, no, you can just go get the ticket from the kiosk and leave your suitcase here. So we didn't quite catch that.
And then he ran off with our suitcase. No, that did not happen.
No.
He was a very nice person that did that.
So very, very helpful.
They are very helpful.
So one of the things that I like here is, we say we're living in paradise, and it really is. The jungle is lush here.
Oh yeah.
And there's
Monkeys and
monkeys. It's 24
Koalas.
hours, or it's 365 days summer here.
yeah.
Yes.
Everything is green and lush. We're surrounded by nature, by, like you said, monkeys and coatis and
There's a certain
agoutis.
time of the year where the butterflies. I mean,
Yeah,
there's thousands
yeah.
of them in the air.
Yeah, it's amazing. I go out walking every morning, and I try and walk like 5 miles. But I mean, I feel like I'm just surrounded by nature. It makes the walk go really fast, and
Yes,
you
it
really
does.
enjoy it, And
That
even
is
if
true.
Even if you're sweaty and miserable
You don't
after
care.
halfway,
Yeah.
you don't care because it's
Yeah.
a beautiful, beautiful place.
That I actually tease Chris sometimes. You kind of feel like a jerk sometimes when I feel I'm grateful for my life. I wake up to birds chirping, and I know what time it is. It's like, 6:30, there's this bird sound.
Yeah.
Oh, 7 o'clock, here's the other. I know what time it is. But then when I go take walks, it's amazing to see everything. Just to look, it's incredible. And so I have to remind myself sometimes when it's hot and you're sweating and you're like, oh, what did we do? Chris will walk outside and his shirt is just drenched in sweat.
Yeah,
But you have to remember the good to that.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Well,
I don't think there is a K Malo to living
No.
in nature,
No.
living in paradise, is there? Unless Sherry's got one.
Oh, no, when I came Malo, I was just going to share. We have a beautiful yoga facility that's very close to us. And I went today for a Pilates class, and the class was disrupted towards the end because there were 3 monkeys outside the beautiful windows swinging through the trees, and nobody could pay attention anymore because we're all looking at the monkeys. It's pretty cool.
I will say the Kamalo to that living in paradise. I was walking one day, but I was by myself, and I looked over and a coati was looking at me. And he stared at me and scared the hell out of me. I had to just slowly walk backwards and be like, okay, this is your home. I will leave you there. Don't look at me that way. I am scared. But it scared me. So walking alone with that, because sometimes they're
Right.
protective of it.
Right, and wasn't there was a time when we had a crazy coati
Coati
around here.
that was
Coati's like
attacking.
a raccoon for people
Yeah,
that don't
kind of
know.
rabbit or something.
Yeah, and this one, we were
Tried to
thinking it was
attack some
rabbit.
dogs or
and it was
something.
attacking other animals. It was
Yeah.
attacking pets. It was coming after people, and somebody finally
Took care of it.
took
Took
it
care
out.
of it.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to get into any details there.
No, there was something wrong with that
But
coati.
yes,
They
that
got
was
whacked.
that was big news for like a week in our community. We were all terrorized
That's
by
when
a coati.
I met with that other coati, and I didn't know if it was
Yeah.
just if they had eaten something, if they were poisoned. So I just slowly walked backwards and kept eye contact. And every time I'd make a move, he'd follow me. And I was really close to calling Chris, like, pick me up.
Flag down a passing car. Help me.
Well, and our former neighbor and friend had a Ring camera on his back patio at night, and he caught a close up of a massive jaguar
Yes.
that was coming up and sniffing around his patio. But this thing was just huge. It was like the size of a lion, and it walked right up. It was a really cool video. I'll see if I can find that and post it on our Expats Like Us Facebook page.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was right
It was
downstairs
gorgeous.
from us.
Yeah,
so-
that was right below us.
But I loved how he went up to the camera. Like
Yes.
he went like trying to say hi to everybody.
Like, what is this thing?
Can I eat it?
Right. Right.
Smells so good. What is that? Oh, camera.
The other thing that I like is I've always been a fan of restaurants and, you know, exploring different kinds of foods and stuff. And if you're like a foodie type, this area is insane. It's there's thousands of restaurants.
Yeah.
There is.
And they're changing, and because there's so many of them, they have to be pretty good to survive.
Yeah.
You know, both with price and with quality. And you know, you can go to Tulum and there's so many good, you know, Asian, Indian,
Italian.
literally every
steakhouse,
country in
everything
the
you want,
world's
yeah.
cuisine is represented in
Yeah.
Tulum. And usually there's multiple ones,
Yes.
you know.
And Playa as well.
And Playa is the same way. Playa del Carmen is
There's
the
probably
same way.
tens of thousands of restaurants there.
And we haven't even seen.
No. I always say you could start and try to hit everyone, and before you finish, they would have all
Right.
moved on and had another one start
Or
up.
you
and-
would never live long enough to get
Yeah,
through Playa del
exactly.
Carmen.
Oh,
you know.
yes.
Now the K Malo with that is I walked through a restaurant. I was at a meeting at a restaurant yesterday and walked through and saw some friends, and I couldn't even make my way over to their table because it was so packed, because it's high season right now
Yes.
in Riviera Maya. And this restaurant, every seat was full. They had brought in extra tables. I mean, people were just up against shoulder to shoulder in this restaurant. And it's like that a lot this time of year in both Playa and Tulum.
Well, and I was going to mention, as we've traveled a little bit around Mexico, different parts of Mexico have different types of cuisine. But we have found so many fabulous restaurants wherever we've traveled. Mexico really is a food destination. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know, if you're a foodie, this is a great
my
place
God.
to check out.
And different regions have different regional foods that are
Yes. Right.
incredible.
Exactly.
you know.
Yes. We learned that when we went to Guadalajara
And
a
different
couple of years
drinks
ago. And drinks
as
as
well.
well. Yes.
by region.
I know one that's K Malo, and you guys will probably agree, lack of craft beer.
That is,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
If you're looking for craft beer like we were used to everywhere in the States, you
Yeah.
will not find that here. You're lucky to find maybe one IPA and maybe a dark lager or something like that,
Right.
but it's nowhere on the scale. It's just it just
Coronas,
hasn't hit
Dos
here.
Equis,
Yeah, right.
You have-
Victoria,
Yep, yep.
Modelo. That's
It's all just pretty kind of run-of-the-mill beer, but you get used to it, you know. And it's not the end of the world to not
Or you
have craft
switch
beer, but
from beer to like vodka or wine.
Or margaritas.
or margaritas.
on the other hand, we have
Mescalitas.
tequila and mezcal,
Tequila,
and,
yes.
you know, which is better than anywhere else in the world.
right.
So,
And we went to tequila, and that was a great trip.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that was an experience for sure.
Right.
I appreciate tequila more.
right.
It's from tasting it from when they start making it to just now. It's tequila. Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand now and have a different appreciation.
Well, I've noticed a lot of our friends have really developed a deep knowledge of tequila. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, and not just they just don't drink tequila all the time, but they know a lot about tequila.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Or
There's
mezcal.
Or
Or
mezcal,
mezcal.
Yeah.
because there's so many different kinds, and it's all, you know, there's a lot of nuance in every different kind, you know. So,
it's amazing.
right.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if we've said it outright, but a healthy lifestyle here. You know,
Yes.
just being
Yep.
active and
Yep.
you know, like you said, I know we all play pickleball.
Yep.
Um,
You play pickleball every day.
I play
I
pickleball
play probably 3 times a
3 or
week.
4 hours a
Erica
day
plays-
every day.
Yeah, right. You're a pickleball fiend.
Yeah.
But also, Sherry and I golf, which,
Yeah.
you know, that's
We're
a
on a-
certain form of exercise.
Yeah, we're on a PGA golf course, so I never imagined that I would golf on a regular basis on a golf course this nice.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
easy
absolutely
here.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I lost, I think, 45 pounds when we moved
I think
down
it was
here.
more like our friends didn't recognize him when we visited a year later. They kept asking him where his other half was.
Put a few more back on. That's
I lost a bunch of weight on that scale when I first got here, and since then I've eaten so many tacos and tortillas, and you know, gone to so many restaurants,
Right.
which are all, you know, way too many calories and stuff, that I put a lot of that back on. But I'm working on it. But,
Yeah.
you know.
There's a basket of chips that ends up on the table every time you enter most restaurants, and
That's-
someone's got to eat them.
Right? And that's the thing, they're fresh.
Yeah.
Right? They just
Yeah.
made them in
Warm.
the kitchen minutes ago. So
Yes.
how can you not? You know?
Yeah.
It'd be rude.
Right. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for K Padre, K Malo. This has been fun.
Yes.
We got 2 shows. We thought we were going to get 1. So this is really good, and it's been fun.
It'd be interesting to
Talking
hear
about
what the
this
viewers, what they like,
Yeah.
what they don't like about Mexico, if they live here or they visited here. And
Absolutely.
What they want to know.
yeah, maybe comments would be appreciated.
Send us an email at expatslikeus@gmail.com or send us a comment on our Facebook page at Expats Like Us, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
In each episode of Expats Like Us, we're going to teach you a new Mexican slang word. This is something you may not find in your phrasebook or your online Spanish class or your Spanish app or wherever you're learning your Spanish. Instead, this is a term used primarily by Mexican Spanish speakers. Today's word is
Wakala.
wakala. I don't think I've ever heard that in my life, Erica. How do you spell that?
That is Guacala.
Wakala. And what does wakala mean?
Gross, yuck,
Okay, so it's an expression of ew.
ew. Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Erica Kowalski from Mi Vida Margarita. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's topic. Just look up Expats Like Us on Facebook or send us an email at expatslikeus@gmail.com. You can also see the video version of today's discussion and all of our discussions on our YouTube page. Follow, like, subscribe, and leave us a review. Thank you to the producers of Expats Like Us for getting together today for another round of K Padre, K Malo. It's been fun. Thanks Chris and Erica from Mi Vida Margarita, and thanks to my wife Sherry Bussey. Thanks also to Tony and Diana Carden for their awesome wildlife video. We hope you guys are loving it in Florida. Most of all, thank you for tuning in to Expats Like Us, and thank you for interacting with us on social media. Next time, we'll bring you more first-hand information about your international move. Until then, remember, our homes are not defined by geography or one particular location, but by memories, events, people, and places that span the globe.